Hey again, Pastor Brad here, Living Hope. I hope that you're staying safe and occupied and fruitful in this time. And I just want to continue reading from Dr. Luke, from the Gospel of Luke, in Luke chapter 5, when Jesus calls his first disciples, and how this might speak to us during this COVID-19 pandemic. On one occasion, while the crowd was pressing in on him to hear the word of God, Jesus was standing by the lake of Gennesaret. That's, by the way, every pastor's dream, of course. When you're in seminary training to be a pastor, you think one day the crowds will be pressing in to hear the word of God. And then if you're not Jesus, sometimes that doesn't happen. And he saw two boats by the lake, but the fishermen had gone out of them and were washing their nets. Getting into one of the boats, which was Simon's, he asked him to put out a little from the land, and he sat down and taught the people from the boat. And when he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch." And Simon answered, "Master, we toiled all night and took nothing, but at your word I will let down the nets." And when they had done this, they enclosed a large number of fish, and their nets were breaking. They signaled to their partners in the other boat to come and help them, and they came and filled both the boats so that they began to sink. But when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, "Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord." For he and all who were with him were astonished at the catch of fish that they had taken. And so also were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, who were partners with Simon. And Jesus said to Simon, "Do not be afraid. From now on you will be catching men." When they had brought their boats to land, they left everything and followed him. Just a couple of quick points from this. First, our economy has gone through a roller coaster cycle in the past month. The stock market was at historic highs never seen before. The nets were full, the fish were sinking, the boats, people were excited, their portfolios had grown, and then of course suddenly last week, and over the past couple weeks, everything crashed, everything's empty, everything looks bleak economically. You know what Peter's response is when his net was so full that it was breaking, his boat was so full that it was sinking? He didn't just see it in human terms, he fell at the knees of Jesus and recognized that he was in the presence of the Holy One, the one who is in charge of all the fish in the seas and all the markets in the globe. And he recognized that he has a problem. He's a sinful man in the presence of not only a perfect man, but the Holy One, the creator of all the fish and all the waters and all the processes and all the trajectories of the world and all its people and all the employment and unemployment. And Jesus said, "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid." That's a word that we need to hear. Why would he not be afraid? Because Jesus was with him, because Jesus said, what you've just seen in the economics of your trade as a fisherman is simply an illustration that you will be catching men. You'll be fishing for people, and they will come and they will follow, and we will gather them in. And so I pray, as I hope that you're praying, that during this pandemic, when people are afraid, when the markets are rising and falling and people's lives are crashing and sinking, that we will be faithful to speak the message of the good news that Jesus is here, that Jesus is sovereign, that Jesus is the creator of all things, and that he can speak to our hearts. Do not be afraid. Come to me. And I pray that we will see many people come to know, just as Peter did that day, that not only are we sinners, unworthy of him, but he calls us still to follow him, to be his disciples. And I pray this would be an encouragement to you as you continue to reach out to your friends and family and encourage your own heart in these hard times. Love you, Living Hope, and hope to see you soon.